Hey there, Mercedes here from PrettyWebz.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a neon brush inside of Procreate for iPad. This is going to be a very simple brush. You're not going to have to create any brush tips or do any of that. We're going to do all of that inside of Procreate. Right now I'm in a 2048 by 2048 square document. Brush Studio does have a little sketch pad there that you can test these brushes. For this type of brush, if you're going to make a custom special effects brush like this one that's dependent on light and color, you're just better off testing your brushes on a document like this. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the brush itself. Now I'm going to come here to the little brush icon up here in the right hand, and I'm just going to click on that. You'll see that that's opened up my brush library. From here, I'm just going to go to this little plus icon right across from the words brush library. So go ahead and click on that, and that will bring you into the Brush Studio. So you're going to have a default brush at this point. Anytime you open Brush Studio, to create a new brush, you're going to get the exact same settings. So from here, we're going to start with stroke path, and I'm going to bring my spacing down to none, and I'll bring my streamline up to max. This really depends on what you like. This streamline feature makes lettering much smoother, but you might not like it for drawing. So if you don't like it, you can adjust the streamline up or down as you choose. And we're not going to touch anything else here. I'm going to come here to taper. And the only thing I'm going to do here is just click on classic taper. I'm not touching anything else. It's all going to stay the same. Next, I'll come here to shape, and I'm going to come to edit right up there in the corner, and I'm going to choose import. When you click on import, you get these options here. From here, we're going to choose source library, and I'm going to scroll down, and I am in Procreate 5. So this is a source library for Procreate 5, and we are in the shape sources at this point. So you'll see up here on the top, you can click on grain or you can click on shape. We are working with shapes. So I'm going to come here to pen glow, and I'm going to choose that one and click on done. If you don't click done, it will not make the changes, so make sure that you do that. And for the options on the shape, I'm just going to bring up my count to 3, and everything else is going to stay the same. Make sure that improved filtering is selected for shape filtering. I'm going to come to grain. I am going to bring down movement to stamp, our scale to none. I'm just going to come down to follow size. I'm going to take my depth down to none as well. And everything else here is going to stay the same for the grain filtering. Improved filtering is selected. The movement, scale, and zoom probably aren't really going to make much of a difference for this brush anyway, because we have a blank grain source. So we're going to come here to rendering. So rendering is going to be very important for this style of brush because we're going to be using light to create this neon effect. So we're going to switch over to intense blending. Our flow is at max, and our blend mode is going to be add. So we can leave burnt edges at multiply, blend mode add, and then we're going to check on luminance blending. For wet mix, I'm just going to bring these all down to 0. You don't have to really mess with these. It's not going to make a big difference in the brush, but they're just not necessary, so I'm taking them out. For color dynamics, you can come back in here and change your color dynamics, but this is not necessary for this neon brush, so I'm going to leave everything as it is there. For dynamics, everything is going to stay exactly as it is here. For the Apple Pencil, I'm going to take my opacity all the way down to none, and the size is going to be max. Now these are Apple Pencil settings. If you're using another brand, it may not work the way it works with the Apple Pencil. And I've never tried using a different brand, so I'm not really sure how those function with this, but I know that these are settings for Apple Pencil, and everything else is going to stay as it is. I just moved tilt down to 0 here, and then I'm going to come here to properties. I'll take the smudge out because it doesn't make much of a difference either. Our brush behavior is going to be maximum size at maximum and minimum as they are. Same thing for opacity, maximum all the way up, minimum at none. And then you can come in here, name your brush. Now, if you're making brushes for sale, I would definitely recommend adding your logo and all of that stuff here, but you know, you can at least name the brush. So I'll name this one Neon, and I'm going to click on Done. So that's it for the settings on the Neon brush. Now I wanted to show you the color palette and how this brush is affected by color. I'm actually going to switch this background to just a black color, just so that you can see it a little bit better. Let's go ahead and clear this. What I want to show you is a difference in color. So I'm going to come in here, and I have this Neon palette. This is going to be available for download on my website. If you go to PrettyWebz.com, I'll leave a link down in the description. You can download this color palette. It was made specifically for this Neon brush. I'll go ahead and show you using these purple colors here. This is a lighter purple. I know it doesn't look that way. These are all very dark colors, but because our blend mode is add, it's adding a lot of brightness to the brush. So we're going to compensate for that by using darker colors. So I have that first one. I'm going to try the next purple, and you can see how much sharper this is. So the lighter color is giving you a much more fuzzy look. The darker you get, the more sharp that color is going to look. Let's go ahead and go in with the darkest purple we have here. And you're getting something that's even sharper there. And actually the darker colors are applying color based on the opacity of the brush shape. This is all going to depend on the style that you're going for. If you want a much more diffused color, you'll use a lighter color of purple. If you want a very dark, defined color, then you'll go with a much darker color. Remember, if you want to download the brush that we created here today and the color palette, that's going to be on my website at PrettyWebz.com. Until next time, thanks for watching.